Hey everyone, it's Joe, the 50-something Dasher, with another DoorDash daily recap video here for Thursday, July 25th, 2024. And wanted to start off today's video with kind of an unrelated side story, but it's the subject of today's video. The fact that I did not ask about DoorDash's future. Okay, so I talked about this. My wife and I was going to go to, we went yesterday to opening day of the Ohio State Fair. And we were there about 5 hours and had a really good time. Had some good food to eat and saw a lot of things. Watched a couple of the shows. Bought a couple things. I got a new case for my phone, that one of those cases that also acts as a charger. But I gotta figure out the charging of it, and I don't know if I have the right cords or adapters or this or that or whatever. So I gotta mess with that after I post this video. But anyway, so we're kind of going along. At one point we get something to eat, and we're kind of like in a main area that has like a bunch of food stands and everything. And we've got our food, and we're trying to find a table to sit at. And we pass this old style looking like fortune telling machine. And with the fortune teller sitting inside there, the little booth. And ever since I was a kid, I was always kind of fascinated with these fortune-telling machines. We had a famous restaurant here in Central Ohio called the Spaghetti Warehouse, and for years they had one of these things. And I would, every time we ate there, I would, put a quarter or 50 cents, however much it was, into that machine and get the fortune, yada yada. So we pass this booth, and the fortune telling booth, and I look at it, and I don't see any price or anywhere where you would like pay for it. And I kind of stopped my wife. I was like, hey, I don't think you have to pay for this. Let's try it out. And so I go up to it. I press the button. There's just like one button on the front of it. And then the fortune teller starts moving, and then there's like the recording, this is Zoltar, and da-da-da-da-da, and please press the button again to hear your fortune, or whatever the message said. So I press the button a second time, and then all of a sudden, then's when I realize it's like a real person in there. He's like, and who do we have here? And kind of like, it's like, and the guy, like when I went up to the machine, the guy was like perfectly still. I had makeup on to make it look like he was like a mechanical, like robot or whatever inside there, whatever words I'm looking for. But, yeah, it got me that it was an actual person in there. So I was not expecting this. So, and then I said my name, and and then he said, he didn't hear me. He's like, what is your name? I said Joe again. And what would you like to wish for? And I was like, and he was like, is not an answer. And then I was totally off guard here. I just thought, like I said, I thought it was like one of those mechanical machines where I'd hear some kind of message and the little card spits out. So first thing that come to my mind was I just said a promotion. And he was like, well, I'm not your boss. You're going to have to go talk to them about that. and then he said, so. It's pretty funny. My wife was cracking up. And then he said that he would, spit out a card or whatever. So I took the card, and that was about it. And I left. And it's called the Living Zoltar. is never heard of this before ever, caught me off guard, was totally unprepared. It was pretty funny. And but anyway, and then we later research him. He has a Facebook page, and there's YouTube videos and yada yada. But it's why I'm mentioning this in a DoorDash video. I told my wife, I was half tempted to go back to the fair like a second time wearing my DoorDash gear. Now that I know about that stand or the booth and what it is and everything, I could have shot a DoorDash related video. Like this time, dressed like this, I would have pressed the button. He would ask for my name, and then I'd say the 50-something Dasher. And what would you like to wish for? And then I'd be like, well, I'd like to wish for going forward full transparency from DoorDash as far as drivers now going forward. see full transparency with the DoorDash pay on the offers as well as the full tip amount for the customer. And I'd also like to wish for DoorDash to tighten up and reduce the mileage, the radius of the delivery areas. If I could get that out in one breath, I don't know if I could or not without stumbling like I did just now. And have my wife recording this, and then just to see, I don't know, maybe he would have realized what we were doing or whatever, and especially with her recording. And he probably just would have said something like, well, that's DoorDash's business, or, who knows what he would have said. But I don't know, it might have been funny. He's there for the whole length of the fair. I could think of it. I don't know. Do I really want to go back down to the fair? And I usually just go once a year. But would I really want, and I'd have to have my wife go with me. I'm not going to have some stranger give him my phone to record it. So it'd have to be my wife. And so do I really want to go back down there, maybe pay for parking again and 2 admission tickets and go through all this trouble, and it might turn out to be a crappy video. He really doesn't even say anything that's funny or interesting. So I don't know. I probably won't do it, but it is just a funny thought. Anyway, on to today's dash. Start time was 6:16 in the morning. And I waited and waited several minutes. I wasn't getting anything. And what I decided to do was log off just in case there was something wrong with my account or whatever. Because I felt like I should have been getting something in the almost 20 minutes that I waited. So I went ahead and shut the app off, and closed it down, and brought everything back up at 6:35, and and then even still, I waited another 18 minutes after that, before I got my first order here. Meyer shop, $13.50 for 13 miles, 2 items. And, so the list on that, and since what I'm going to start doing on the shopping orders is, since the timer isn't at the bottom, then I'm going to take this screenshot here that has the before I click arrive at store, that I'm going to take this screenshot as I'm approaching the front doors to wherever I'm about to shop at. So that time stamp at the top of the screen is when I'm about to walk into a store. And then, so there's the items, a number 7 candle and a frozen cheesecake. And then I'm going to take my second screenshot when I've found both items. So there you see 7:04 to 7:07. This was a 3-minute shop. And proceeded to the delivery. I believe I delivered that at 7:26. So all total, this was a little over a half hour for $13. So, pretty good deal there. Next up was 4 straight McDonald's orders. 575 4 mile. And this one, I took screenshots, but I'm not going to post it. This had 2 different house numbers. It had the house number that was in the app, or, is the delivery address. And then in the customer instructions, that house number was like 2 digits off. Like one of them ended in, I don't remember the numbers. I say, for instance, 98 and 96. And so I just, it didn't look like the number that was in the customer instructions. It didn't look like there was even unless maybe we're talking about a side door, like an apartment, like a attached apartment added onto that house, and the door was on the side of it. But I wasn't going to walk around to the side of this house to look for another door with a separate number. So I just delivered to the address that was the delivery address in the app and took my picture. I took a screenshot of the 2 different addresses and took extra photos. Like I took a picture of the mailbox, and just in case, something was to happen with a contract violation. You never know on these lower paying orders. And so here is the pay on that, $2.75 from DoorDash, $3 tip. This took me 18 minutes start to finish. Then McDonald's order number 2, 650, 5.5 miles, taking place all in zone. It might have been this order right here is when I'm pretty sure it was. As I was on my way to the customer, I noticed that the roundabout at, this would be Alkire and Demarest in my zone, there's signs and all kinds of signs everywhere. I guess it's going to be closed for construction for like 3 weeks. So that's, and I go through there, I wouldn't say real often, but I mean, at least a couple times a week anyway. So I hope Google GPS is updated on that. And because I have been on GPS, I have been taken to roads that are closed before. So hopefully this one got updated, because that's kind of like I wouldn't say like a major intersection, but that's a lot of cars go through there. It's a decent size intersection. $4 from DoorDash, $2.50 tip. What did this take me? 17 minutes. McDonald's number 3, 650, 8 miles, upside down order, but that's because of my position. So I was leaving that previous customer. From that location, I was either gonna go, I had a choice to make, either go home or to this pickup area where this pickup and drop off was. That's where I usually like to wait for orders. So if I was, chances are, going to be going to that side of town anyway, then I might as well take this order. So this wasn't a bad order by any means, especially if I was, like I said, if I was going to be going there anyway. So that took me a half hour all total. Made $6.50. So I didn't do good on time as far as that goes, but it is what it is. The 4th McDonald's order in a row was $9 for just under 6 miles. So I went ahead and took this, no additional notes or anything for that. So I delivered this 18 minutes later, $3.50 from DoorDash, $5.50 tip for the $9. So not bad. Kind of made up a little bit for the last order. Let's go back to Meijer. 1450, 11 miles, 6 items. Let's do it. This was just, this was super easy. This was only in 2 places in the store. It was 3 heads of lettuce and 3 bottles of dressing. I mean, how easy could this be? So I walked into the store at 9:08 and I had all of these items picked out in 4 minutes. Easy. Somebody's making a big old salad. Delivered that at 9:27. So that was, what time did I get the offer again? 8:58. So this took, you might as well say, a half hour. 9.50 from DoorDash, $5 tip, $14.50 in a half hour flat. So good order there. I'll take those all day long. 10 minutes later, 1475, 14.8 miles, exact match, dollar for dollar. Now we're back to the distinct items. So I'm a little bit kind of confused. Why the back and forth? Why they... And again, I think it should be both. I think you should put the distinct count, and I wouldn't word it like that. I would put, let's say, I don't think I have in my notes here how many let's say it was 17 items, 10 SKUs. That's how I would put it. 10 SKUs, SKU, 17 items. But DoorDash is either putting the total item or they're putting in their words, the distinct item. They're putting one or the other. And it's like no rhyme or reason as to which orders they're doing that on. Can't you just put both numbers on all? Or what's so hard about that? I don't really understand, but hey, I can just keep preaching that until I'm blue in the face for all eternity on this channel, I guess. 3 minutes later, I think I'm probably just arriving to the store. I get an add-on for $11.09 for an additional 9 miles, 8 distinct items. So, and you see on the map here, this was going to be a lot of driving for, what is this? You might as well say $26, but a lot of driving though. 26 bucks, 24 miles. So, but it's still, I went ahead and took it. Next screenshot. So here is when I went into the store. So there you see, customer A, 8 distinct items, B, 10. The only thing is, I mean, mostly just general grocery shopping for the customers. The only thing that was kind of a little bit different or unusual item, and you see it on that screenshot on the bottom right hand corner. It's this food for rats or mice. It was like a 2-pound bag in the pet department. That was the only thing, kind of a little bit unusual item. But pretty easy. I had this, so that was at 9:48. And I had everything shopped in 17 minutes. So didn't take long at all. And I was checking out. So the $11 one delivered first. That was at 10:32. So $6.50 from DoorDash, $4.59 tip. for $11.09. And then 20 minutes later, delivered the second one, $12.75 from DoorDash. Only a $2 tip on that. Maybe that order kind of got passed around a few drivers, I'm guessing, on that one. Then coming back, I was getting kind of low on gas. I decided to just go ahead and put my dash on a pause because I wanted to get off the exit that I wanted to get off the interstate and not get some other order that directs me somewhere else. Let me just pause the dash, get my gas, and resume the dash. First offer that I got, and it's funny, I left the gas station and I was, driving down the road. I was coming up on this Taco Bell. You see my position on the screenshot here. When I get this little $3.50 Taco Bell less than a mile, why not? Heck, I don't care. It's, that's over $3 a mile. So I went ahead and took it, and just easy as could be, just went down the street. This only took me 9 minutes start to finish to pull into the Taco Bell, get the order, and I literally just driving it down the street, 9 minutes. And for my $3.50, thank you very much. Like I said, on my declines, of course, I've talked about this before, but just to kind of reiterate, you got your viewers on these videos. Oh, why are you taking $2 and $3 orders for? And, you always kind of have to listen to that. But see, the ones I have more of a problem, I don't so much mind these orders under $5 if the mileage is low on them. I'll still do them. The ones that, because you got to remember, folks, I deliver to I pick up in one zone and deliver to 5 different zones. So sometimes on some of these days I get long trip offer after long trip after long trip, and sometimes I'll take these short little orders. So that the ones I usually decline are like your long distance orders that are just paying $1 a mile or even a little bit less than that. And by taking these, I can, I have a little bit more wiggle room to decline the other ones, keep my AR up. Because like I said, even though I'm a lifetime platinum driver, if I can, if I want, cherry pick and have my AR go all the way down to the 30s or 40s or whatever. But then I just start, I've had it down into the 50s, and then the frequency of the offers I get, just drops way off. And I start to where I don't see the higher paying orders. And, for me, that sweet spot is 65% AR and above. And then I'm usually fine with getting the good mix of, higher paying orders. And then I, have to mix in a few orders like this, and it works out well for me in my zone, in my situation. Next was my first of only 2 declines today. $7, 7-mile jets. At this point in the dash, I was kind of closing in on goal for the day. I didn't, at this particular time, I just didn't want to drive to the hilltop and mess with all that for just $7. So decline. That's all there was to that. Dairy Queen. I haven't gotten I can't remember the last Dairy Queen order I've got. It's been a while. So yeah, $6, not even 2 miles. So heck yeah, and I was actually parked in that shopping center. So I didn't even have to leave the shopping center. I was parked on one end of it waiting for an order, and Dairy Queen's on the other side of the shopping center. I'm right there. Go to Dairy Queen, had to wait a couple minutes, not too long. And then as I think I'm like walking out of the Dairy Queen or whatever, and I get this Little Caesars offer, which Little Caesars that's in the shopping center too. That's almost like next door to the Dairy Queen. I still went ahead and moved my car anyway, a little bit, a few feet closer to the Caesars. Go in there, took my pizza bag inside, and notice here on this screenshot, I just now noticed this. I didn't pay real close attention at the time, but it says like pizza bag required. But on Tuesday, I had that catering order. It just said large order / catering, but it didn't, on that particular order, it didn't say catering bag required. So I don't know. It's kind of weird. And I'm not sure why, like on pizza or it used to be on the catering orders, you'd have to take a picture of your bag first and then go into the store. I don't know why the pizza orders are different. I go into the store, I get the pizza, and then, come out of the store, and then it's asking me for the picture of the bag, which is weird. But anyway, so, and this was only adding 5.5 miles for an extra 725. I dropped off the Dairy Queen first. That went to a apartment complex I live in. There you see the pay breakdown: $2 from DoorDash, $4 tip. I felt kind of bad on this order. What happened was I didn't know how long I was going to be in the Little Caesars. For all I know, it could have been a 10-minute wait. So I put the Dairy Queen. It was just a meal. There wasn't any ice cream or anything. So I put the bag of food in my hot bag. I put the customer's drink in my drink carrier. Okay. And went into Little Caesars, got that. Now I'm off to deliver the Dairy Queen. Well, I got to the customer. It was a hand to customer, which, kind of sucked, for this particular order. And I get to the customer's door and give them the hot food bag first. And then I go to get the drink out of that drink carrier and the lid pops off. And I try to put it back on and that lid's not staying on. And some of these, but like Arby's and Chick-fil-A, they're good about putting the stickers like over the lids to kind of like secure the lids. But Dairy Queen didn't do that. And so rather than like, keep fiddling with it, the customer just wants their drink, so I just, I apologized and I just handed him the lid and then grabbed the drink out of there and gave him the drink. And so that kind of sucked a little bit, but I mean, it wasn't any of my fault or anything. But and fortunately, none of the drinks spilled out, so that I got kind of lucky on that. But yeah, that just kind of sucked a little bit. Then I delivered the Caesars, and that went clear across zone over to the golf club area. $4.25 and then $3 tip for the 725. And then then I got my last decline and then just decided to call it quits after that. $5.75 Taco Bell going 7 miles to Darbydale. No, and more than likely going into the trailer park or whatever. I didn't, kind of like the hilltop situation. I just didn't feel like messing with that. So decline. and I went ahead and logged off. I was close enough to goal. Here's the final pay dash summary. Now for my total dash time, I added on the minutes from when the very first started the dash. So I added that time into this, so it's making it a 5 hour and 55 minute dash. And then active, you see here, 4 hours, 21 minutes. So I was down an hour and a half, and probably close to an hour of that was the first hour. 11 deliveries for $98.34. Drove 95 miles, so I made goal on miles. My acceptance rate started the dash at 68%, raised it up to 71%. So it's good to be back up into the 70s here. Now at 3,372 lifetime deliveries. One last thing, I'm still at a 99% completion, and I'm thinking to myself, well, I can't even remember my last dropped order. I mean, when was it? And then it's not fallen off by now. And then so I when I was entering all the other stats in my spreadsheet, I took a look at this, and it was a Chipotle drop that I had back on June the 26th. So you're talking a month ago was my last dropped order, and I had, because of the overtime at work and everything, I haven't gotten 100 deliveries in the last month for that to roll off. But that was it. My lifetime deliveries at that drop was 3287. So if it doesn't drop off this, and I don't know why, but all of my dropped orders, they seem to all drop off before 100 deliveries, like around 94, 95 deliveries later, not 100. I don't know why, but hey, I'll take it. So if not this next dash that I do next week, then for sure the second one, I'll be back up to 100%. And that's all I have for this dash. I am with the next 4 days working at the W2. So wish me luck, and pray that I get through it in one piece. And then hopefully we'll live to dash another day next week in all likelihood. But that's all I have for now. As always, be sure to drive safe out there, and thank you guys so much for watching and for the support. Take care. We'll see you next time.